Very good morning to our lecturer, Encik Baharudin in Ridzuan, and I'm Yew Xu from Group 10. So I'm going to present our project from introduction. So air pollution is a type of environmental pollution that affects the air and is usually caused by the smoke or other harmful gases such as oxide of carbon, sulfur, and nitrogen. And with the increasing of human activities and economic growth, the demand in every aspect are going bursting. So air pollution are getting worse day by day. So in our study, treatment technology used to control the air pollution are discussed, and all the possible technologies are identified and working principles are determined. The investigation that stress the positive impacts of air treatment technology to the environment. So next, our problem statement, we focus on what is the treatment technology used most commonly for air pollution and how the technology works in order to eliminate the emission of pollutant to environment. So in our study, we aim to identify the treatment technology used for air pollution, to determine the working principle of treatment technologies, and to investigate the impacts of air treatment technologies to the environment.
A very good morning to Dr. Baharudin. And now my name is Kai Xuen. I will present the working principle of catalytic converters. So from the picture show below, we can see there's an exhaust gas and there's a ball pipe emission. So when the exhaust gas, there's the exhaust gas from the car, there's hydrocarbon, carbon monoxide, and nitrogen oxide. And then at the last, if you go through the reactions, which will produce unharmful substance, which is water, carbon dioxide, and nitrogen. So this is the structure of the catalytic converters. We can see this is stainless steel catalytic converter body, heat shells, and cerium and ceramic honeycomb catalyst structure. So this is the honeycombs. So this is important. This is where the reaction is take reactions. So there are major reactions that the carbon monoxide is react to become carbon dioxide, and the hydrocarbon become the water, and the carbon monoxide become the nitrogen gas and carbon dioxide. Yeah. So next, the picture show how does the catalytic converter works. So first, the molecules of polluting gases are pumped from the engine past the honeycomb catalyst, this one, and made from platinum, palladium, or rhodium. Next, so the catalyst is start to split up to molecule into their atoms in this picture. So at last, the atom then recombine into molecule of relatively harmless substances such as carbon dioxide, nitrogen, and water. So these three substances which blow up safely through the exhaust. Okay, next, function of catalytic converters. So a three-way catalytic converters has three simultaneous functions. So first is reduction of nitrogen oxide into elemental nitrogen and oxygen. So from the chemical equations, there is the nitrogen oxide gas, and then react, it becomes the nitrogen and oxygen. So second is the oxidation of carbon monoxide to carbon dioxide. So from the chemical reaction, it shows that the reaction between carbon monoxide and the oxygens, those become carbon dioxide. So the last one is the oxidation of hydrocarbon into carbon dioxide and water. So we can, from the chemical reaction, it can be shown that there's a hydrocarbon, it reacts with oxygens and come out with carbon dioxide and water. So these are the unharmful substance. Okay, next is the catalytic inhibitions and destruction. So the catalytic converter is a sensitive device with precious metals coating the insides. Without this metal, the redox reaction cannot occur. There are several substances and chemicals that inhibit the catalytic converters. So there is the lead. First the lead, and most vehicles run on unleaded gasolines in which all the lead has been removed from the fuel. However, if lead is added to the fuel and is burned, it leaves a residue that coats the catalytic metals and prevent contact with the exhaust fumes, which is necessary in performing the necessary redox reaction. Okay, the next is the manganese and silicon. The manganese is primarily found in the organon metallic compound, MMT. So MMT is a compound used in the 1990 to increase fuel octane rating. A higher octane rating indicates that the gas is less likely to combust, causing the engine to explode. Okay. Next, in the thermodynamics of catalytic converter. So from the graph, we can show that the first one is without a catalyst. So we can know that's the higher activation energy required for the process to start reactions would take longer to form and product would gradually form. So the next is with the help of catalyst, the activation energy required for the reaction goes down significantly. So this means the process would go faster and use more the products. Okay. The next is the dangers of pollutants. So first is nitrogen oxides. We can cause smokes when this organic compound is there, and nitrogen oxide can cause accidents when it is combined chemical reaction with sulfur dioxide, and can cause water quality chemicals imbalance when there is a contamination, and can cause climate change when reacts with nitro oxides. Nitro oxide is a greenhouse gas. Okay, then the second is hydrocarbons. So hydrocarbon can cause birth defects over exposure to hydrocarbons. So can cause deaths if there is excessive inhalation or consumptions. Also can cause pollutions when there is reaction with nitrogen oxide and sunlight. So the third one is carbon monoxide. These are harmful variants of naturally occurring gas, carbon dioxide, odorless and colorless. This gas does not have many uses functions in everyday processes. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Chong Yee Hau and my machine number is AF1702446. For my part of presentation, I will present about a case study. From our topic, I will choose the case study topic, which is experimental analysis and comparison of performance catalytic or catalytic converter, including simulations. First, I will present about the abstract. For the abstract part, the purpose of this paper is to present the result of the experimental study of performance and conversion or efficiency of ceramic mononic three-way catalytic converter employed in automobile as house lights for the reduction of the gasoline emissions. So, this main objective of the paper is to compare an analysis of performance of the catalytic or converters of Proton Villa 1.3L, and another one will be Fiat Punto Selectra 1.2L. Both converters have the same structure, material, synthetic, cordial ceramic, and the substrate square shells, except they are different in size, chemical properties, and the geometrical attribute. For the next one will be the result part. For the CO contents, the figure shows that the carbon monoxide of the proton converter, which has the highest amount at idling speed of 1000 rpm with a range of 4.0 to 4.5% by volumes. Experimental data show that the Fiat converter has a higher air fluid ratio compared to the proton converter, which has lower concentration of CO because of the greater distance of oxygens. The next one will be the HC. For the HC1, the figure shows that the unburned hydrocarbons at idling speed of 1000 rpm is higher in the proton converter than the Fiat converter through the exhaust temperatures. For both are the similars. For the next one will be the NO contents. For the NO contents, the figure shows that the NO's reductions, both converter performs the similars way by putting the reduced NO as low as 5 to 15. For the next one will be the conversion efficiency. It will show that the Fiat had the higher conversion efficiency than the protons. The next one was simulations. You can see the difference. From the last one, based upon the experimentation and simulations, you can conclude that the Fiat converter is better than the proton converter in terms of conversion efficiency for the three main parts: CO, three main pollutants, CO and OHC, at three different engine speeds. Fiat converter have the higher cell density and slightly thinner wave thickness, allow more special metal catalytic to be routed. Longer channel in Fiat offer the advantage of better mass transfer. Smaller hydraulic diameter in Fiat converter channels, especially more favorable mass transfer. The next one will be the SCN and EDS, show that the properties of the both converter can be compared in terms of microstructures. For the last one will be the simulation. Simulation and the experimental show that is more different in reducing the main three pollutants, HC, NO, and NO. Thank you. That's all for my presentation.
Good morning, doctor. My name is Ridzuan, and my machine number is AF1702424. Now I will explain about findings and discussion. So first of all, the turbo reactors were used extensively in the early days. Like the turbo reactors is designed to assist in the development of a low emission of air pollutants concept vehicles. However, the turbo reactors had to be replaced for two reasons. First, it was difficult to obtain high oxidation rates without running the engine rich and using retarded spark timing. Second, it was not useful to control nitric oxide. So the third one is hence an alternative method of adsorbed cleanup. The catalytic converter was introduced, and it is now the most common method for exhaust emission control. This has the advantage that the exhaust temperature can be kept moderately low, and the engine parameters, compression ratio, and spark timing can be retained at levels which are optimized for the combustion factors alone. Next, studies have shown that a mathematical model has been developed for a catalytic converter to predict the concentration of carbon monoxide after hydrocarbon and nitric oxide at different positions of the converter. The study shows that the conversion addition of nitric oxide, hydrocarbon, carbon monoxide is directly proportional to the length of the catalytic converter. There is two common types of catalytic converters, which is two-way catalytic converters and three-way catalytic converters. For two-way converter is that they work two simultaneous tests, as they are oxidation of carbon monoxide to carbon dioxide, oxidation of hydrocarbons, unburned and partially burned fuel to carbon dioxide and water. While for three-way catalytic converter, they have the additional advantage of controlling the emission of nitric oxide and nitrogen dioxide, both together abbreviated with nitric oxide X, and not to be confused with nitrous oxide, which are the precursors to acid rain and smoke. And this is the bar chart that shows the effectiveness of catalytic converters. So, however, the catalytic converter still has several disadvantages. Like the noble metals used are expensive and are in limited supply. Because they are poison binding, these converters require unlimited gasoline. This requirement has resulted in both a lower octane gasoline and reduced engine compression ratio, which has in turn caused a reduction of both engine power output and fuel economy. However, these trends should not be attributed solely to the catalytic converters. The phase down of the lead content of gasoline will give the same result. Moreover, the horsepower of the vehicle will decrease due to the engine uses more energy for the converter and for burning the elements. That's all for me. Thank you, Doctor.
Hi Doctor, my name is Yew Xu and my metric number is AF1702437. So now I'll present about the diesel engine in the discussion part. So instead of three-way catalyst, diesels use two-way oxidation catalyst, which only tackle carbon monoxide and hydrocarbons. Since they don't have reduction catalyst, diesel engines produce much higher tailpipe emissions of nitrogen oxides than gasoline engines. Catalytic converter on diesel engines do help to reduce particulate emissions. They tackle one type of particulate known as the soluble organic fractions (SOF) made from hydrocarbons bound to soot. Diesel particulate filters have to use to make a significant impact on an engine soot emissions. Car size, diesel engines tend to power much bigger vehicles than gasoline engines with considerably greater exhaust output. Instead of a single catalytic converter fitted between the engine and the tailpipe, they may have a number of individual units fitted in parallel to cope the bigger exhaust gas volume. So next is the recommendation. So three-way catalytic converter is more preferred to use in the gasoline vehicle, and two-way catalytic converter is more suitable for diesel engine, since they have a slightly different working principle. The three-way catalytic converter is called because they have three chemical reactions, which are the reduction nitrogen oxide into oxygen and nitrogen, oxidation carbon monoxide into less harmful carbon dioxide, and oxidation of hydrocarbon into carbon dioxide and water. So the next is the advanced research is needed to overcome the disadvantages of three-way catalytic converter. The private company may provide the financial support for research and development department, and the professional engineer and scientist is needed for the problem investigation and doing research. So and also there is a necessary of sharing of technologies and expertise between the developed country. And also there is a lambda sensor in order to monitor the condition of catalytic converter. So the last one is the registration comes along with the catalytic converter. Enforcement installation of catalytic converter is necessary, and it should have punishment for those who haven't installed the converter. So that's all. Thank you.
Okay, so as a conclusion, catalytic converter is a crucial and common facility that are found on vehicles nowadays that can treat polluted air before it can be emitted to the environment. So it's mainly remove the pollutant by chemical reactions, which are reduction and oxidation. So the technology development in this new era is very beneficial to environment and human by enhance the quality of air. So we as we as a future engineer, so it's very important for us to manage this technology well, to enhance the quality and also to prevent harmful and unsafe pollutants to the environment. So thank you. That's from us.